10 new players and only Desmond really coming back with shootout experience. Is there anything you're telling them about the rivalry, kind of what to expect, or anything Desmond might be relaying to them about what to expect when they hit the floor on Saturday?
I think all of our guys really understand this game. We talk about it when we're recruiting. Certainly, once you're here, everybody knows what the Crosstown Shootout means. And, I'll echo what I said a year ago, or maybe as far back as 20 years ago. And that is that this is the biggest game on our schedule. It's the most meaningful game we play. It means a ton to our former players, our current students, and anybody that loves Xavier as a university or as a fan of our basketball program. We embrace that. And with that, I think it becomes our collective responsibility year in, year out to be the most ready and prepared and team that we can be. And what that encompasses is, the preparation leading into the game, but also the game itself that you're going to play with a lot of spirit and fight and compete to the final buzzer. And not that the team that competes the hardest wins, because in my experience, both teams compete hard in this game. But usually it's individual players that rise to the challenge, and single plays, shot blocks, loose balls, made free throws that determine the outcome. Last year's game was a great example of that, and we're getting ready for sure.
Sean, do you enjoy coaching in this game, or is it more of like a relief to get through it and move on to the rest of your schedule, or what's your relationship like with the game?
I wouldn't say relief. It's part of what you sign up for, I think, is what it is. It's a big moment. It's kind of like a big week. The consequences of the game, really create a lot of irrational behavior. It's if you win, you won the Super Bowl. If you lose, it's the sun's not going to rise. And I do think that that's the one thing that has changed with this game over the last 30 years. And that is that there was a time when, although we played other very important regular season games, respective in each of our leagues, that I don't know if there's ever been a time where the leagues that we both were in simultaneously were as difficult and challenging as the ones that we are currently in now. Xavier in the Big East and UC in the Big 12. And I only say that, to answer the earlier question of how do you embrace this game. When this game ends, regardless, we're going to play St. John's twice, Seton Hall twice, Villanova twice, UConn twice, Creighton twice, Marquette twice. When it all ends, we're going to be in Madison Square Garden in the Big East tournament. And I think on UC's end, they're going to be able to name a similar January and February for them as it's looming in front of us. So I do think that is one thing that's changed, and it's a perspective that we have as coaches and as players. But this is an exciting and an important game that's separated from all that tomorrow night.
Watching them, their defense has been pretty impressive, at least from an outsider perspective. Does that stand out to you when you watch them play?
What stands out for me is their overall quality of depth, that they have a number of different players that can make shots and score in different ways, and they have a number of different players that can impact the game defensively, shot blocking, rebounding. They're a group of really 9 or 10 deep, and with the most recent addition of Aziz to their team playing the last 3 games, they've made a team that I think had good depth, have maybe really good depth. So that's what stands out, and usually teams with depth, they could play through foul trouble. They can win in a variety of ways on different nights. It just seems like different players step up, and that's really what I've seen.
Coach, after Tuesday's game against Delaware, you really asked for more toughness out of your team. How do you feel like the last couple of days of practice this team has responded?
Yeah, there's not a pill we can take to just change things in 48 hours. Part of what we're dealing with is, the fact that we're playing younger guys, and the fact of, we're playing a lot of guys that weren't here last year. Regardless of what happens moving forward, we're never going to be at our best this season in the months of November and December. It's impossible. It just is. And I think if you add the schedule that we've played, I think it's made something that was challenging even more challenging. So, with that, we also have a lot of good experience. I feel like the games against Houston and at Purdue, and the 2 games we played in Vegas against Washington and St. Mary's, a couple of our tough home losses against Oakland and Delaware. We've learned a lot. We have a lot of experience through 9 games, and my hope is that helps us this weekend. In our last game against Delaware, it was really the first time that I really felt that our team this season had lost a little confidence. And that happens sometimes when you take on losses. You get down 8, and it only feels bad, but it feels bad because you were down 8 in the last game too. And, that shot that you're getting ready to take, it doesn't feel the same as it once did. And getting a defensive stop just seems almost unnecessarily harder than it needs to be. So I think that's also part of the challenge of our coaching staff is, to make sure that our confidence is where it needs to be. Part of playing well, you have to feel good about who you are. So this isn't all about, throwing rocks at each other. It's about picking each other up. It's about trying to encourage younger players, teach them, and bring this group of 10 new players together. And, sometimes these types of games and moments really allow that to happen.
Sean, to follow up on that, it's early in the season. You talked about confidence just now. You talked about it Monday. Can this game be a turning point kind of game for those guys who need the confidence, for this team to build some confidence?
I think so. No doubt about it. But, for us, the days that are the most important are the days when you guys aren't around. And that is yesterday and today. Because we have the opportunity to control everything. How hard we work, what we try to fix, the attention to detail, the preparation for a game like this. That's where, for us, the money lies. The results of the game, in many ways, are going to be a reflection of just our growth, how much we can improve, how as a coaching staff, we can identify things that we can fix. There's some things that are out of our control. But the things that are in our control as a team, as a player, and as a coach, that's our everything right now. And I think that's how you build a program, and that's how you improve as a team. And most importantly, that's how you prepare for a big game like the Crosstown Shootout. So I think that's kind of my talk. That's our focus. And we'll see. We have to be ready tomorrow night, no doubt about it. We're playing a really good team in a very, very meaningful game.
I'll ask it unless someone else has one. I know you approach this and always have, it sounds like, Sean, as the most important, the biggest game on the schedule. Every coach has a different approach. Do you feel like it's important for you to take that stance going into this game, not just for you, not just for the fan base, but for your team to see that and know that it is the biggest game on the schedule?
Absolutely. That's how they feel anyway. So I would be lying to them if that wasn't, if I said any other way. The truth of the matter is the Crosstown Shootout is a big deal. And that's where we're in. We're the day before the game. And when it ends, my earlier point is still true. We're competing in one of America's best conferences. And we've already played a very good schedule. We're not there yet. This is a singular moment, and we have to be the most ready we possibly can be.